Hi. This week was very exciting in what showed up, and it is the world I want to live in. It's from should be to could be. Such a huge difference. And these could be's are so there for us. It's like looking at the horizon. If you see the horizon there of the bay, when I'm doing a session here, it will take me to beyond that horizon, and it's like we can't see it, but we know what could be. And then finding steps to that could be, it comes into view, and new horizons are there to explore. What was found this week was that when we are stuck in a rut of the complexity, of the annoyance, of that which we have to just swallow and be, and there is no way really past it, even though that's what I would love, that is all should be's. It's past. And if we look into the past and we go, it should have been this and it should have been that, we're stuck in a loop that is so frustrating and in many ways unproductive, that to look beyond the horizon with a could be of what is the next step to could be. And it just opens everything up, and our future arrives, and we do not feel stuck to the old in that ability, and to be able to notice the past and see it for what it is, as a book that belongs on the shelf, and open up a new paragraph, a new book with could be. It is such a different opening in the mind when we go to could be. And it involves others or yourself, but it involves a teamship and a trust that what is possible, and to make a move towards that. And amazing insights came of, I always knew there was something that is important. And when we're stuck in should, it can't arrive. There's no room for it. There's no breathing into it. And when we take the could be view and experiment with the could be, and if the first thing doesn't work, try another could be. It's a world worth waking up to. It's also a world that we live in now, and it's not related to the past. That doesn't mean not appreciate the processes of the past. They have had their time. To live there is a very different thing. And people are taking big steps to could be. One, in fact, because of shifts that have been happening, actually found himself in a space of should be, could be, and the exhilaration of the could be was very present, and the should be was not digestible anymore. So this in-between transitional space showed up that actually led to panic attack and anxiety, because it's like you haven't got the footing of the should be, and the could be hasn't arrived enough to live into. So it was very difficult. But in all that had been shown in previous sessions, and in something particular that I will share with you, the writing of it, that in the hearing of it and the reframing of it, that wellness that goes to could be arrived. There's one other element that showed up, and it showed up in a young child. And this child was seen as difficult and unfocused and problematic in schools. And, you know, the parents are so good at being with this child, but they could see that it wasn't necessarily working at school. And what showed up is, you know, these children are born for could be. And they're living in a world of should be. It's very difficult. And with this child, for those of you who know the work of how kinesiology works, running the central meridian down, the being of this child said, I've no problem, I've got so much energy, I don't mind if you take energy away. Then when it was, well, how are you with more energy? Running the meridian up. And it just said, oh, no, don't give me any more energy. I can barely manage what I've got, and I'm managing it the best I can. But the spirit actually said, you know, this energy is normal to me. But the mind could not see it as normal. It saw it as I'm doing my best. And further in the session, what showed up is that because of the problematic element of all this energy in our society of should-bes, he was starting to feel that he was bad and something was wrong with him, which makes it even harder to deal with that energy. And I would say many children are feeling this. I can't control this. What's wrong with me? I don't fit, which we probably all felt at some stage growing up with the energies that we had. And it was rather wonderful because his spirit was actually saying, what I want from you, and it came up with the Australian bush essence of lichen. What I want from you is to really be able to, when you start something, to really stick with it and see it through to the end. And you get a sense of how brilliant this energy and having that capacity to use the energy that way in the future would be extraordinary. But he's now at this very young age. And the resolution to it was, allow this child, and it said, even if it's one day a week, go somewhere, whether it is in a park or a beach or wherever it is, to fully allow that energy to express itself and to go into joy with him, and allow him to feel how good this energy is and that it is good. It needed the remedy of celebrating that energy. And, you know, this is early stages. We'll see where that goes. But the joy is the could be and the okayness. Now, what I'm going to read to you comes from the Hames report, Hames, and I really would encourage you to Google the Hames report. It has so many beautiful, comprehensive, in-depth, in so many ways, that you can feel this middle point and the humanity that very often isn't really played out. And this particular writing that he had is headed "The Cost of an Unfiltered Woman," which is a response to Grace Tame, that all of a sudden she was awarded at one stage and now she's vilified as not convenient. And in the writing of this report, he writes this, and I thought, oh my gosh, this so meets where we're at, and we need to hear this. We need to hear this could be that has arrived and is the only place to be for those that can relate to that. So, I'll read it. I kept returning to an image of the way a caterpillar becomes a butterfly. Inside the dissolving body of the old creature, certain cells appear that already carry the pattern of the creature to come. The surrounding tissue treats them as a threat and attacks them because by every measure available to the old form, they are foreign, disordered and wrong. They are magical, imaginal. They are imaginal cells, the could-bes. Huh? They are also the only part of the animal that knows where it's going. Those that see a new possible preferred human system are attacked, not despite their carrying the next form, but because they do. Now, I've added my own little bit at the end, but it's basically his thoughts. And it is so potent. And the truth of it is, a butterfly will appear, nothing will stop that. Be part of those could-be cells that see a new world, a world of coming together, of being creative, of bringing things into being that don't exist but could be. So a very, very beautiful week, and I look forward to next week to see how this progresses with all of us. So, so much love.